With just about every class of car in South Africa, you are spoilt for choice. From entry-level city runabouts to top-class sports cars, there are literally hundreds of choices. But when it comes to luxury saloons, those numbers are severely limited. And the decision about which of those limited numbers is the best has just got a little bit more difficult. If you're in the market for a luxury saloon, you have options from BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Maserati, Jaguar and Audi. And the reason it's now more difficult to pick the best of the lot is because Audi have just released an updated version of their A8. And what we have here is the L version. L in this case standing for long wheelbase, although it might as well stand for Lord, how's this thing going to fit in my garage? It is a very big car, but despite being almost exactly the same length as two smart cars, it has a definite elegance to it in the same way as a Mercedes-Benz S-Class does, although the Audi is a little bit more restrained. Some would argue that by comparison to just about anything else in its class, the A8 is a little boring, that it relies purely on its size to convey a sense of status rather than having any sort of standout features. If you're an Audi fan, you'll love it because it manages to give off an air of importance without venturing away from the company's philosophy of clean lines and straightforward execution. The updates include a revised front end, some gloss black elements for the side windows, and reworked rear lights. There's one thing for which this class of car is famous, and that's its tendency to introduce the kinds of technology that you'll see on future cars, and that's particularly true of the Mercedes-Benz S-Class. But there is one area of technology that Audi has taken and made all their own, and that's lighting. And the lights on the A8L are something special. The optional LED units feature 25 individual globes and lenses that work constantly to provide the best possible forward lighting at night. The high beam function is particularly cool. It allows you to leave the lights on full brightness all the time, because the lights, with the help of a camera, monitor oncoming traffic and adjust the brightness only where they need to. In other words, the oncoming driver isn't blinded and you still get the benefit of the brightest possible lighting. It is quite cool to see how they continuously adjust themselves as you drive along, although entry to that particular light show isn't cheap at 38,000 Rand for the LED units. But in the A8L there are standard things you get to enjoy even in the back, like the entertainment system, the sunroof, and 13 centimeters of extra legroom. And that's not nearly all of it. For a bit more money, you could also get reclining, massaging electric seats with a footrest for those times when you want to nap on your way to the office, and a tray table on which to rest your laptop for those times that you don't. In true luxury saloon style, the list of options is big, the overall execution is top class, and the standard of the finishes is high. So high, in fact, that it includes gold dust blended into the wood trim of our test car to make it more sparkly. Stretch-out space is an obvious feature, with comfort and technology a very close second. If you are the kind of person that pays 1.5 million Rand for a car and then gives the key to someone else to do the driving, may I suggest that in this case you don't. Top of the engine range in the A8L is a 6.3-litre 12-cylinder, but I think even that's outdone by this V8 turbo diesel. And there's not just one reason for that, there's 850 of them. That's the torque figure produced by this, the best diesel I've ever driven. And not just because it produces over 20% more torque than a Lamborghini Aventador, but because it's smooth and strong and instantaneous, and it even sounds decent. Together with the 8-speed Tiptronic gearbox, progress in this TDI is nothing short of epic. The 4.9-second 0 to 100 time is every bit as impressive as it sounds. Of course, this is not the kind of car that anyone's going to buy and then chuck through the nearest set of corners, but that hasn't stopped Audi from building a car that can and actually feels good while doing it. Quattro all-wheel drive is standard and it helps with the impressive grip, but it's the steering that's just as impressive. The sharp turn-in and good change of direction is no doubt helped by the adjustable air suspension and aluminium construction. But this very good car does have its drawbacks. The first is a dashboard that's still covered in buttons, where everyone else is moving to a sleeker, less cluttered design. Also, the auto hold function is in conflict with the start-stop system. Come to a stop, the engine switches off, but take your foot off the brake pedal to take advantage of the auto hold, and the car starts up again. Do those things for me mean that the A8L is a non-starter? No. Even with the brand new Mercedes-Benz S-Class, the A8 is still a strong contender with its comfort, its luxury, its technology, and a surprisingly engaging drive. Although, if I had to own a luxury saloon, for me, there's still nothing to touch a Jaguar XJ. With 850 Newton meters and sports car rivaling 0 to 100 time, the V8 TDI helps make the A8L an enjoyable drive, while the Tiptronic gearbox adds to the refinement. It has all the hallmarks of a luxury saloon, power, comfort and technology, but the interior layout is starting to date a little, and the auto hold function definitely needs revision.